Well, thanks everyone for joining today. And we're talking about hiking gear 101. Um, and I can introduce myself quickly. My name is Heather Diaz. I'm like from Houston, Texas, born and raised. I moved all over. Now I'm residing in San Jose in the Bay Area. I just moved back to the Bay Area a few weeks ago. And I am just like, outdoor enthusiast. I like to day hike my free time. I love to camp. I love to through hike too. I'm planning a through hike, a section that I missed in PCT this year.
Nice.
And I'm just excited to be here to help provide any information that those who might want to know about hiking gear and just kind of cut through all the fluff and get down to the point.
Yeah, there's so much fluff. Yeah, I am Marcella. I am from Miami, Florida originally, but I currently live in the Portland, Oregon area. Been living here for a few years. Also have moved around the US quite a bit. Also really into hiking. Done some camping trips, just really one proper backpacking trip. I have two dogs, so they help us get out. And yeah, also just I really like teaching people stuff and giving people information. So
I'm real happy to be here. And
yeah.
And do you want to start off with your story? Because you want to start off talking about our first stories of hiking. Do you want to?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, because that was also what I wrote in my kind of announcement post, was like my very first kind of hiking, camping, backpacking trip was kind of all in one trip. And I remember telling you when we were talking about this that my first kind of memorable piece of gear was my pants. But I saw pictures later that were like, I didn't buy the pants until several years after, so I don't know what I was thinking. But I guess the first gear that I bought for myself was probably the boots. On the first trip that I went, I had these like 10-year-old boots that I had gotten from my parents, like in middle school or something, and they still fit. And after a couple kind of short trips, the soles were falling off. So I decided to I need sturdy hiking boots. For me, the boots are like a huge investment. So I bought boots that are probably like more on the expensive side, but I was happy to spend that money because it was the same brand I had before, and if they last 10 years, then for me that kind of pays off.
Oh, perfect.
So that was kind of the first like real gear that I bought for myself. And I still have those boots today, and they're awesome. I guess the one mistake I made was buying them online and not having them fitted, which you can do these days, and that's pretty nice.
But, oh yes, yeah, and we were talking about that earlier. That like if you're thinking about buying shoes, because for me shoes are really important. I don't wear hiking boots. I wear trail running shoes. Everyone's different. But like if you do, like there's like shoes that you can get fitted at RAI, but do get fitted not during like the sales, because during the sales like it can get crowded and you won't get the attention that you need. So if you are going to get the sale, probably like go like when there's not a sale, check it out, and then come back and then buy it when the sale is present. Because getting like fitted properly, it's the best thing to do. And I didn't do that for my hiking boots that I purchased for the PCT for the snow, and I regretted that because I just listened to someone I watched just a YouTube video and someone told me they use this the shoes. There's Sullivan waterproof shoes, and I just got it, and it was way too big, and I just kept it because it was worth I got on sale stuff like $200. But I was like, I got it off Amazon, so what I'm gonna do is I just kept it and wore it. It was really bulky and heavy, but I was like, cool, I paid the money, I'm gonna use it. But for me, my story is that I wear trail running shoes, and it kind of got to the point is that in my first time I actually went hiking, I remember official hike. So when Steven asked me, my boyfriend, to go on a hike, I just wore running clothes. Like I just thought like I'm just gonna go in like a running tank top, shorts, running shoes, regular backpack, and just like bring a water bottle. I'm like,
What
I'm
else
just
do you need? Yeah.
what else do I need? And it worked out fine, and I kind of wanted to go. One of our points I want to talk about is that whenever you're planning your hiking trip or adventure, like do not let gear hold you back. Just because you don't have a pair of
Definitely not.
hiking boots, like I'm not gonna do that. Like Marcella, she you say you wore whatever you borrowed, and I think that's awesome. Like
Yeah, like
you
honestly, I don't even remember how much we had laying around because like I had boots laying around and I had like a jacket. I think my partner had this like bigger, super old backpack that
like
he just like had used a long time ago and the straps were messed up, but like we still took that and
yeah,
never again, but like it totally worked and it didn't like it made certain parts of the trip a little less comfortable, but it was still like a great introduction to the activity of hiking, backpacking.
exactly. And that's what really was all about. It's just kind of like getting your foot, like getting feet in the water and just testing it out.
Mhm.
And you can borrow gear. Like my first backpacking trip, like I borrowed gear from like Steven's, like from his family had, and it was like the old frame, like the like, external frame. Like there was like a metal frame.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
we just like attach everything to it, and it worked. Like I was kind of really heavy, but hey, you just use what you have and just and then navigate it, and then so going with the first takeaways, like don't let gear hold you back, is that another thing too is you want to go over some mindset. So if you do, like if you by chance do go out with got the proper gear, or you think you're not proper gear, tell
That's
yourself,
really it. Yeah.
yes, just be like, hey, I'm gonna go out here because I want to try this out. I want to try this new route, and it's not about the destination. That's not that main important thing. And if by chance you can't go further, like maybe your shoes aren't that great, maybe you can just turn around and come back another time with the proper gear. So don't kind of make sure to keep that mindset. It's like really, really
Yeah.
important. When like if you turn around, it's like it's okay. You did your goal. You went outside and you tried it out.
Yeah. And next time, if it's not too bad of an experience, hopefully you'll like
Yeah.
be encouraged to do a little better. I was really amazed. Like I looking through old pictures, I found I used to wear jeans. I used to wear like my old tennis cap as a hat, um, or like just any workout clothes that I had laying around, and it always worked out fine. So
Yeah,
um,
why not? I mean,
definitely, you don't need all of the special pants and shirts, and they're nice to have, but it doesn't prevent you from having a good time and a good trip.
exactly, exactly. And we talked about it before. Like I know people have told me that like they go hiking like in like their sneakers and jeans. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing I do in Mexico. I know that for sure. I just get a shirt on, jeans, and they go. And then I was like, cool. Like I've seen people work out in jeans too. And I'm like, God, if you're like whatever you're doing in jeans or lifting weights, hiking, like, and you're out there, like I'm rooting for you.
Yep. Yeah, I guess the only thing that makes me, I don't know, just like shudder a little bit when I see is like people hiking in flip-flops, like actual
Ooh,
the thin, like
yes.
thong ones that are made of foam and plastic. Those I would not recommend.
Oh, I don't either.
Definitely
Like,
closed-toed shoes at least.
yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. Like we have hiked in Chacos before. Like Chacos are the one that's strapped,
That's
and that
true.
those and they have like a good like arch support. Like I have hiked like almost 200 miles, and Steven hiked up Chacos and hiked up San Jacinto. Like I don't know if anyone has hiked San Jacinto. We hiked up in snow with Chacos. There's a picture of him, and he just wanted to like just show people that you don't have to have these $200 hiking boots. I mean, that
Yeah.
of course, he's been doing this. So, but that's just like one example of that. Like,
Yeah.
I would recommend doing that because I was freaking out in my trail runner shoes and I didn't have spikes. But still, like,
Yeah. The one
um,
thing I will say about Chacos though, so we both, me and my partner bought a pair, I think last summer. They can be pretty pricey if you don't find them on sale.
yeah,
Like actual brand, Choco brands. I'm not sure about Tevas, however you say that. Those I think they're comparable, but they can be kind of expensive for like sandals, right? So that's, I guess, one thing to keep in mind.
Yes, and I always get them on sale too. I'm always about finding deals, and
Yeah.
I think we found them for like $60, but still what they
Nice.
are, but which is the most important thing. And then but regarding clothes though, like we say, like people like who you cringe on. I actually cringe with people who actually wear little to nothing clothes, because I cringe of like I mean, like you can do whatever you want. Like I don't judge people, but like I get freaked out because I always like to wear long sleeve everything because of like I get fear of poison oak.
Yeah.
And then also like regarding like hiking in the like even in the heat, I'm afraid of getting like skin cancer, because that's what you think when you're in your 30s now. It's like I can't get skin cancer.
Yeah.
But no, foliar poison oak. That's like but even that, like with long sleeve, you don't need anything expensive for that. Like when I was hiking, I hiked this like my PCT was I hiked in like a hot pink like Champion brand shirt I got for free. It's probably worth like $15, and it worked just fine.
Yeah.
Yes. But also I wanted to ask, you said you had regarding the mindset and turn back around. I was just curious, do you have that one story about your rain jacket? I never
yeah, that's right. And that goes way back, because this was like in middle school. And this was not living in Florida, but my family lived in Germany for some time. I did middle school there. And they took us on a hiking trip, like hiking field trip, and it was like, I don't know, September or something, and it was pouring. And we were like in the woods, in the mountain kind of area, and I did not have the proper rain jacket. So I got completely soaked through. I was wearing sneakers, jeans, all of that. And of course I couldn't just like ask to be taken home, because this was like a field trip. So ever since that left a little bit of a bad taste. So I guess I learned that, even proper rain jackets can eventually soak through if you're in the rain long enough. But also just like, I always bring a rain jacket now. It's totally essential. I guess that was a bit of that left a bit of a bitter taste, I'll just say. So I'm still a bit hesitant to hike in the rain, but I'm learning. The Pacific Northwest has, I think, like converted me. So
That's awesome. But what a traumatizing experience. But now, like, if you would have known, you would just turn back around if you had the chance.
Yeah, or like at least found shelter under trees. That's something we've done since, or just something to wait out the shower. But yeah, that was a not very pleasant experience.
But yeah, I do know though, like as you mentioned about rain jackets, though there are like that's one essential item though I do recommend having if you ever do plan on hiking in the rain, or you are hiking. If you do hike in the rain, like it's essential item. It's so nice to have everything repelled, and getting a good one. If you get a good one, it'll last forever. But yeah, that's one thing I do.
Yeah. So you had a story also about wearing a jacket that you like ripped at one point.
Oh, yeah.
How did that happen? I don't know if I'm like jumping ahead, but
you're kind of jumping ahead. But I do want to highlight kind of go over the points if you're just jumping in. That what we're going with is hiking gear 101, and we have our first takeaways we have is don't let gear hold you back from like, even so you don't have it, just still go out there. And two is that having like the best mindset, have a positive mindset of just if you don't have the proper gear, just go out thinking I'm just gonna go out, just checking it out, get my feet in the water, checking this new trail. Just always turn back around, something like fails. And then the other one we kind of we didn't go over yet, but we're kind of talking about it is like hike what you're comfortable with. Because we're talking about like trail shoes, hiking boots, like different like wearing sandals, like it's all about personal preference. There's no one telling you, like there's no right or wrong how like what you like to wear.
Yeah.
And that was one, and we can go into it in a bit. But then this one too, but also we want to go into like we're gonna talk about like how like some of the hiking gear too is hiking we're comfortable with is doesn't really fit properly. So I had this
Yeah.
jacket, and like and the jacket I actually like busted because the hiking gear the reason why I had the hiking gear out there isn't that's the need for like the outdoor industry isn't really for me. It doesn't really fit well. I'm just a tall, like I'm tall, I'm like 5'10", and I have like a really broad back. I'm not a swimmer, just like a former runner, and it's a person that kind of just gets really big and build muscle easily. But it's really hard to find jackets because it never really fits my chest well, and it's really frustrating because
Yeah.
like I can't find it. And then it's like if I get the jacket too big, then I look like I'm wearing like a potato sack. And then
Yes. Yes.
it's like a
Yeah.
large and I get a medium. It's just like it's way too tight and I feel like everything is scrunched up and I'm not trying to show off my boobs or anything. It's just like and then this one time I tried
Yeah.
it's always super tight and then like it's always short in my arm, but the large is way too big. But I was trying to put this jacket on and like the zipper just completely messed up and I knew it was going to happen because it was always so tight, but it was like it kind of I'm just like, but yeah, that was my one recent thing is that was so it lasted a while. I like my purple jacket, made it work. I got it as a gift and I enjoyed it. Like I just
Yeah.
knew what it had. But I was one of my pet peeves though, like the outdoor industry, like clothes don't fit me. And I'm just like
Yeah.
and I used to get upset by it, but now I'm just like, whatever, I'm just gonna give my money to those who like support my size.
Yeah, I mean, it's really true. I kind of have the opposite problem because I'm pretty short, but I'm still muscular because of like different sports I did growing up, and so finding like hiking pants that actually fit, they're usually too long or like too broad or both. And like this length that does fit, like I have trouble getting them up my legs and stuff. So it's, one of those situations where I'm like, I feel like a sausage wearing this. And it's technically my size, and it's just really, really odd. So I've started going back to kind of the more just like regular fitness pants. I even found leggings that have like fleece on the inside
Ooh.
for like colder days. I love those. My only issue is pockets. I love pants with pockets.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
why
why
I
the
try
fanny
to
pack.
find hiking pants. But
Yeah, that's why I'm all about the fanny packs because I don't find slip pockets either, even though they're handy. But I love that you said that you are leaning to fitness gear for your outings because that's what I did because I feel like I feel like they're always like they're so far at forward regarding like the fit how it fits on you, the style and everything. So and like
yeah,
I think that if I can use that to sweat in, like why can't I use it for like hiking? The only
yeah,
downside people tell me is that like they're afraid to get it dirty, but I'm like that's why I have a washer and dryer.
yeah. What? I mean, you get fitness clothes dirty too. So yeah,
Exactly. Like how is it any different and why should I buy a particular product because it says it's by an outdoor brand. Like I can wear anything that's a dry fit, I'll wear. Like if I wear that Champion brand, like it was probably from Target or Walmart and I wore it for 2
yeah,
weeks in
I like
Iowa.
them. Yeah, they plus the other thing too, gear isn't at least right for there's the whole, I mean, if you start looking into the like more elaborate gear, you have like the base layers and the
Mhm.
underwear and the outer layers, summer, winter, all of these different kinds of things. And it's like, I don't know, for me, sports underwear, like a long time ago, became something really important that I needed to like have comfortable underwear, comfortable sports bras, like all these things that um, I now they're just kind of like an automatic thing to think about. But
Mhm.
going
I
into it,
I
like,
agree. Like, and people don't talk about it enough. Like, finding the perfect underwear to go hiking and it's like it's mandatory. Like I have
yeah,
my favorite is like a Vistio. And like that's something that like it's needed. Like it's like you're just and
yeah,
and it makes a huge difference. But that's one thing that I wouldn't skip on is good underwear. And also good socks. goes a long way
Oh,
too.
socks. Yeah, socks definitely go a long way. Like when I first started, I mean, living in colder climates, I always had thick socks, but they were not, I don't know, my feet always got really cold. So I would get sweaty feet, cold feet. It was always really uncomfortable. So now I'm really happy with like the more modern socks, I guess, that like regulate your temperature better and stuff like that.
Oh,
But I
that's
still
all.
buy them on discount because they're pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, they
Some
can
of
be like
the,
I try to find whatever's the best. I know Darn Tough is a really good one, but it's just but this is all stuff, just a reminder, like kind of what you said, like hike what you're comfortable with. So there's
yeah,
certain people have their preferences, what like that they have like their essentials. And like this, like these are our essentials. And remember, it's gonna take time to like discover like what are the mandatories for you, which is the
yeah,
reason why, we kind of mentioned like at the beginning, the first thing is that hike with what you have. And then like and don't buy everything at once, because what if like you realize that
definitely not. Yeah.
what if you need something else more than the other? And like just kind of take your time discovering that. But like, we talked about this earlier, but yeah, like hiking socks and hiking underwear are mandatories. And if that's not mandatories for you, like I want to give you a clap. I want to give you a
Yeah.
round of applause.
Yeah. And that's also kind of the other thing too, is for something like hiking boots or things like chacos, I found that because of how my feet are and I guess how I walk or something,
Yeah.
like I needed to wear them in a few times. So
Oh
if you're
yeah.
buying new gear, definitely like test it out before you go on a longer trip or like a
Yep.
trip that's farther out or something where you might not have a replacement, if it suddenly like gives you blisters or something like that, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
And I
Um,
do recommend that to test the gear out. And like especially for boots, for trail runners, it's like not as needed. But everyone's different though. But I do know that's the reason why when we were through hiking the PCT, a lot of people like chose trail runners because they didn't have to break it in. And that was kind of the thing that kind of like
yeah.
also was lighter too. I like it because it's lighter and I don't need ankle support because I was a former runner. But like that was the kind of the thing that sold to them, like lightweight, don't break them in. But like if but still for like that's for just the trail runners and those shoes only, but for boots definitely I would highly recommend breaking them in. And I have other gear
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that and maybe backpacks. And like maybe this is a good segue
Yeah,
into like non-clothing
yeah,
essentials too. Do we have any questions so far?
yeah.
Like I said, I can't see comments.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Um,
don't have any questions. But yeah, we can go into the essentials and pick what like the investments. And if anyone has any questions about like specific gear, like
just
please like
chime in, yeah.
kind of because we can answer it because we're gonna go list out like things like backpacks and other our must needs that we bring. But if there's anything questions, like please chime in.
Yeah.
Okay. So backpacks.
Backpacks. I mean, a backpack I think is always good to have it just in general to carry your things. I know you really like fanny packs. Do you wear both or
I I do.
okay.
I love a day pack. I just wear like this day pack that was actually a bike pack. I actually
Oh,
gave this.
okay.
I gave this to my boyfriend, and he doesn't use it, so I just ended up using it because it has like a thing to hold your water reservoir or bladder, however you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it. And it's like it's really small. It's probably like 18, good for 18 liters. But that's what I wear. We have so many backpacks. Like I don't know if you do,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna think that you just collect. We get these
Yeah.
for free. I think we have like I don't know like 10 different types of backpacks. So we're not buying anything more. No day packs. Like, sitting
Yeah.
because we get like drawstrings and stuff like that. So we just carry what we have and then the fanny pack is my favorite because it has a place like has my keys, my wallet because I need that like so close to me. Um, but
Hmm.
I but I don't recommend like if you don't like but the fancy day packs like if you did want one, some people I know they like a really nice backpack because maybe like my boyfriend for his shoulders he has to have a proper one. So like don't like feel forced to get one and don't feel forced that you don't have to get like I guess like just choose your
Yeah.
preference.
Yeah.
But
It is nice to have the padding on the shoulder straps and on the back. So we really, I think we only have two types of backpacks that we bring with us. We have like two 13 liters. Most of the time we only need one when we go just on a day hike near home. If we're going on a longer hike and I'm bringing my tripod for pictures, then I'll take my own backpack and lug that around. But like the 13-liter fits my tripod all folded up, so it's
Oh,
awesome.
perfect.
And then we have like, I don't know, it's like a 50-liter, like one of those enormous
Yes.
backpacking packs that we didn't get until after our first trip. So,
That makes sense.
um, but those are the only two we have. And other than that, I don't know. I feel like just for like really short trips, having like even like a drawstring bag, like you were saying, that's more than enough. My only issue there is like those can cut into your shoulders.
Yeah, but we used to
Um,
have to like have some paddings in the shoulders. Like we have some that has a padding, yeah. But we like that drawstring top because it's a top open bag, so you can just like throw it
mm,
there and get it out. But there's just still I just kind of go based on what I'm kind of feeling. But I was gonna say, but if you do for day packs, I wouldn't recommend going more than 30 liters because like that's like way too, it's getting way too big.
that's
And
really big, actually.
it's
Yeah.
really big, yeah. It's way too big. Yeah, and then if you want to go like for an overnight backpack, that's where I would invest your money is like overnight, like for backpacking backpack. And that one can go from like 38. I would say the most you want to get is 65, but that 65 is like you want to go multiple days. But even then, the people I know from like through hikers use like 38 liters, and they're hiking like over 2,000 miles. So like I would kind of do that range. But I would, yeah, invest in a backpacking backpack, day pack, not so much depending on your needs.
Yeah, you can even just use, I don't know, like whenever I have family visit and they don't hike nearly as much as me
Mhm.
and my partner, they'll just use like a JanSport, the like typical stuff that you take to school, JanSport, Eastpak, whatever brand. That works perfectly fine. And it's, yeah, and it fits everything that you need. I mean, the only things I ever need to pack into my backpack are like a rain jacket, a pair of
Mhm.
socks, because I hate having wet, cold feet. Um, and my tripod these days, snacks, and I haven't I'm still kind of old school and I always carry around like a proper water bottle.
Mhm.
Um, so that needs to fit. But other than that, yeah, just kind of basic things.
That's
That's what I carry just in my own backpack.
yeah. I like
If my
that.
partner also has his, he carries other stuff in there too.
Mhm.
But
That's what's the fun thing about hiking with a partner. Like you can double up on some things.
yeah,
And for me, like I'm glad you went over your essentials. Like for me, for me, it's always like I have a backpack. I have a water reservoir. I'm a bit lazy. I just like having to drink it like, right here instead of like
yeah,
getting my backpack. I still have a water bottle. And I always have like a water bottle, an extra one, a spare one just in case something happens. Like maybe if my reservoir bladder bursts or for noon for electrolytes. And then I carry a tripod because I hike solo. And then I carry my Garmin in Reach when I'm like in the backcountry and
mm,
or hiking solo. And this is something that we purchased because we were backpacking. Um, if you can afford it, like that's super cool. If you can do it for day hikes. I mean, it's only needed if you're going to the backcountry without signal. Maybe you want to hike solo, but I like having
yeah.
that just so I can, if something happens, I know I can press SOS or text people without signal. And then I have like that, and then I have carry food. Food's essential to me. I'm like the snack queen. I'm always carrying food for like me and somebody else, maybe a third person.
You
And
never
then
know. You never know.
exactly, yeah, I can do that. And then always carry electrolytes. And I think that's, and then it's about it. Like, and then a fanny pack, and then I had something else in mind that I completely just forgot. But I think that's
Yeah,
pretty much the basics. Oh yeah, Amber, you said you were bring extra pair of socks for you because you hate cold feet. So I bring a sandals and I'll leave it in my car. So this is
yeah, I typically do something like that.
because
Yeah.
like I hate switching like having wet feet and switching to socks. I feel like I'm still wet, so I just like having my feet dry. But remember that like for gear, you can always have stuff in your car as a backup. So because like if you might need something, like I always have like extra food stashed in my car and extra water. I definitely recommend
hmm
that.
Yeah, I like, especially and I'm sorry, I keep on fidgeting because it's like not staying in today. The Especially like once the fall and kind of rainy season started here, I typically bring more than just socks. I bring like an extra shirt or an
Mhm.
extra hat, pants, because if we get soaked on the trail
Yeah.
because it suddenly starts raining, I don't want to drive home an hour or 2 hours wearing wet clothes.
Oh, yeah, that's a
That's
good
how I
idea.
get sick. Um,
It's a
but
good.
one thing, yeah, that's clothes wise, I always bring that. Like these days, also just like having hats and gloves is really nice. The temperatures are getting chilly, and my hands are always getting really cold too. So,
Yeah,
um,
gloves are a good pair of gloves helps. One thing that I did notice is that how like, we have live in two different climates. So I guess that kind of goes into the part of like, kind of taking what you have, but also like taking this opportunity to kind of learn about, your area, your community, like the weather, the temperature, and you'll start to pick up things like what you need as what are your essentials, and that's kind of like relevant to that. And then like with Marcella, she learned what to bring with her. It's like that. I think that's awesome that you finally realized, okay, this is what I have to have here, just in case I don't want to get sick. But
yeah,
always keep that in mind. It's always like a learning curve, and you're just learning about yourself, and never like get upset if like you don't get it right the first few times. It's just you're just learning as you go. And this is something that we each person goes through.
yeah,
And
definitely. Yeah, that's kind of clothing wise. I know we haven't talked about your trekking poles at
oh
all, which I
yeah,
know you love.
yes, I do love trekking poles. My trekking poles a lot. It's like also I'm a klutz. I spend the night I'm braced and I just know that I'm accident prone. So I use that
Yeah,
as something to help you not trip or fall. It's also a good weapon. And it's also a good
yeah,
snake wrangler too. We use it before to wrangle snakes to get across from the other side. And then also
yeah,
it's great for like when we go, this is like a backpacking, like that. But if you actually encounter like a bear or wild animal, you can just like, oh, it's coming, you can just tap your trekking poles
hmm
ways to scare them. So trekking poles are my favorite, and I feel super confident with them. So that's something that I always carry. Sometimes I don't when I'm picking up trash because it's really hard to do both. Um, but um, but no, when I can't have my both two hands, I definitely that's something that I love. Um and like if you and of course it's kind of pricey if you but I do recommend that's one thing that I would I would put like spend money on because it'll last forever and all you have to do is get new tips.
yeah. We don't. I would love to have trekking poles, but because we hike with both of our dogs, like 99.99% of the time,
Yeah.
and my partner has a dog and I have a dog. It's having
Well,
like a pole on one side would be really inconvenient. And I think we've talked about this. It's actually pretty
yeah.
bad for your back and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the main reason why I don't use poles. But I would love to one
Yeah.
day just try something out, see if I can work poles into the rotation.
Exactly. Exactly. That'd be awesome. And then, oh, regarding questions. So we got, if anyone has questions, please ask away. We had a question regarding toilet paper, and I did wanted to address now is that like someone asked if there's like any like way to substitute toilet paper on the trail, and there is an option like one popular item that I know a lot of females use is the kula cloth,
Yeah,
and then that you can use you can just wash it and I guess when you're in town or when you're home. So that's one alternative. And it's not paper and or like if you are in a budget because it's a small owned business, they have like pretty graphics and stuff like that, and then different
yeah,
artists contribute to that, so it's really cool. So if you do buy it, the money goes back to the community. But if you don't and you're on a budget, you can always use a bandana. That's something that I have personally used. It's a bandana. So like,
yeah.
it feels kind of weird, but hey, it works. But that's
Yeah. Plus, a lot of people have bandanas with them anyway because of COVID these days,
yeah.
right? So like, I always wear one when I'm hiking. Um, I guess my only hesitation is, and this is something I think about, is if you like Kula cloth and bandanas work really well when you have to like do a quick pee on the
Yeah.
trail. But for like other emergencies, I guess there are a couple options too if you don't want to bring toilet paper. I mean, some of it is just dig a cat hole. And we're gonna have like a chat about hygiene, I think, at
Yeah.
some point, so we can go more into that. But that's something at that point, like culottes don't actually work
Yeah.
for solids. So something to think about too is if you don't think you're gonna have an emergency, that's great.
Mm.
But I always like to think about everything and
Mm.
overthink everything. So
I mean, yeah, like we go to hygiene like a different episode, but that's just under just going pee, going like just going pee only. For me, I don't carry any of that stuff because I just just shake it off. So
yeah,
I am just I gotta go. By people, like, I say my day hiking. People are coming. I don't have time to waste. But everyone has their own preference, and if you are that person that needs that cloth, like go ahead and use it. If you don't, you don't. Like I said,
yeah.
like you hike with what you're comfortable with. And we're going number two. We can go down a different discussion. Unless you really want anyone wants to know about it today.
Yeah. Worst
But
case, I was thinking like if I mean because I have dogs, I always have poop bags with me. So
yeah,
if you need to do something like
yeah. Exactly.
um,
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. But definitely, if you do use toilet paper, or anything, please do pack it out. I do want to mention that because even if
definitely.
you dig a cat hole and you have a shovel, like it's really important to pack it out. It's a topic that gets discussed a lot, but I'm not gonna like talk about. I can talk about it at length. I just kind of want to mention that because like
Yeah.
I've a strong pusher for like leave a place behind and all everything else along with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I really think there's like a whole episode here
Yeah,
for
yeah, exactly.
hygiene topics.
Yeah,
So
exactly. But
and also like you're saying, leave no trace even. One other question we got was about safety gear.
um,
Um, and you had mentioned the trekking poles. They're a great weapon and snake uh,
regular.
wrangling device. Um, we always bring bear spray these days, like one of those big kind of canisters. They're not very heavy. We've never had to use it, fortunately. But even if you don't encounter a bear, but you're being, I don't know, maybe attacked by a crazy person who's being really
Mhm.
violent, on the trail, bear spray will also fend off
Mhm.
humans. So we kind of bring it for that reason.
That's
Um,
cool. Like, yeah, we just like I was just tracking poles to make noises, and I guess hike whatever you prefer with. And one cool thing is that if your backpack has a whistle, like whistles are also very helpful to make like noises. Like we have our backpacks actually has whistles built in, so that's
mhm.
something that we do, and we like it literally scares off a bear. Just they hear you, they are actually more scared of you than them. And if you like stand tall, that can be other episode regarding that, but like usually
Yeah.
that does it.
Yeah, I think our day packs have one of those little whistles just
Mhm.
as part of the clip for the chest strap.
Yeah,
So that can
exactly.
be super super useful. And I mean part of it again, and one of my dogs at least is very protective, and so for me that's kind of another level of
Yeah,
protection for safety, a deterrent for wildlife or
yeah,
people who might be trying to cause any harm. Um, is I know that if I'm hiking with at least one of my dogs, that I'm going to have that kind of signal for people
yeah,
to back off.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, I know some people, I've seen people hiking with machetes if that makes them more comfortable. People bring knives, people bring, we've hiked with a machete once and it didn't work for us. We were trying to like cut down stuff. Anyway,
Oh,
did not work. Um, yeah,
we can
people
make
bring
knives.
knives
Well,
and
the funny thing about knives is that we actually end up using our knives for food, if anything. Like
yeah,
it's great for cutting cheese or salami.
yeah,
Funny.
for sure.
Yes, but yeah, so like like hike whatever you're comfortable with, but knives are pretty common. Like I guess I mean I don't have it ready to but it's nice to have it that just in case. Um but aside from that, it's 4:41, so I'm gonna ask if anyone has any questions because we can end this chat at by 4:45.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe we covered everything. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we covered
I'm
everything.
sure we did.
Yeah, exactly. And big note to what we're gonna talk about next week. Next week we're gonna move our chat to Tuesday, and we're gonna just do a Q&A. And so if you have any questions about your upcoming trip, I know people are planning for the holiday trips. Anything like any burning questions, comment. Please join us at 4 p.m. on Tuesday and ask away. So be prepared with questions. I mean, that's it, right?
I don't know. Yeah. Is there anything else that comes to mind? I'm trying to see my notes now. I guess other like if I want to bring up a couple more basic things that it honestly took us a little while to get used to bringing was like tissues, hand sanitizer, all these like super basic things that I really liked having with me. And tissues can also serve multiple purposes. Napkins, as toilet paper, as actual like blowing your nose, covering wounds if you get scratched, all of that.
Exactly. But my only like pet peeve with that is just that like if anyone's listening, if you do bring tissues, please remember to pack it with you,
Pack
pack it
them
out
back
with you.
out. Yep.
Because that's one of the things I find everywhere. And if you're one that you might think, oh, I'm probably gonna just fly away, then you can bring like a handkerchief or something. But just like that's the one thing I do want to let people know. That's one of the most weirdest thing I find on the trail.
Yeah.
Because I have allergies, so I need tissues too. Trying to be mindful of that. But yeah, all of those are essentials. Even sanitizer, I always carry that, and it's 4:44. So what I do want to do is that I want to go over what we covered. So
Sure, yeah, it's a great time for a recap.
The recap of everything is number one, don't let gear hold you back from doing an adventure. Like just hike what you have, borrow gear. There's nothing wrong with borrowing from friends, even if it's old gear, just testing it out. And then from that point, if you feel unconfident about your gear, change your mindset and have a mindset like I'm just here going for the adventure. I'm just here testing this out, or maybe checking out this new trail. And then next goal is the destination. And if you hike somewhere you can't do it because maybe your shoes aren't that great, turn back around and no big deal. Come back again another time with the proper gear. Maybe just don't go back. And then the third one is like, hike what you're comfortable with. Everyone has their own preferences. There's no right or wrong to like what you like. Just choose what fits for you and for us, like the gear that we have, the gear then a lot of the things that for the outdoor industry, it's not like we say we didn't like fit us. So like we can choose what works for us. So just remember that. And then one thing that we didn't like highlight, that we did talk about, was kind of as you go, remember like as you go, you kind of learn like what are your essentials, and then you kind of like what's the best for you and invest in those things. Because you're gonna find things that you can't skip out on.
Definitely not. Yeah. And things that you cannot compromise on at all.
Exactly. And you don't have to get the fancy gear for that either. Like I found things that like I usually go to small businesses and I find the best gear for that. So you don't have to think. So I still spend money, but I don't spend with some other
right. Yeah, I think also that on the topic of hiking with what makes you comfortable, it doesn't have to be a big brand. I mean, I guess that's kind of what you're getting at too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is, but I guess one thing that I've been seeing a lot lately or thinking about a lot lately too, is just this notion of needing the latest and greatest, having to change your gear. Kind of think long term if you're going to invest in a lot in kind of a gear upgrade, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Think long term, think about, okay, maybe this is a little more expensive. How long will this last? Mm-hmm. Look at reviews for gear online. There's so many I think we talked about doing your research last week, and it applies just as much for gear, I think.
Yeah. I did a bunch of
So
YouTube videos. YouTube videos were the best for me, and that's what helped me decide what to get.
yeah, there's YouTube videos. I like reading reviews to see if people talk about how quickly something broke, how well it fit, if they're around my size, stuff like that, because that can really help me decide if that's actually a worthwhile investment.
And they can ask us questions too. And feel free to, you can talk to friends about this, ask us if you have any questions. We're here to help.
Yeah, we definitely are. Yeah, so if we have no more questions, I guess we can wrap it up, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, I'll see you on Tuesday. And also, the last thing I'm going to add is remember to leave a piece behind and leave it better than you found it.